Hello, this is David Kozik, Chief Spiritual Officer and Senior Minister for the LoveMakers Foundation, a hybrid spiritual organization whose purpose is to bring love to the world. And as a part, we know that our world needs love and peace. That's the one thing we can never get is enough love. Today, broadcasting from Lake Arrowhead, California, our spiritual headquarters. The topic of my love message today is love, leadership, courage, the solution to war within and without. Deborah and I were going to present a different topic today, but because of this Hamas-Israel conflict and the slaughtering of innocent women and children, the taking of hostages, and what apparently is going to turn into a full-blast war. And when we look at that in addition to the war in Ukraine, we have to ask ourselves, why is it always the innocent and the loving and the weak and those unable to defend themselves who always die in war? War is a very sad thing, but it's not just the war in the world, is it? It's also the war at every level of society, whether it's political, whether it's personal, whether it's family, whether it's within. Because we're at war with ourselves too, aren't we? But today's talk centers on becoming a great leader. Because humanity's challenge has always been and will continue to be, unless we solve the problem, finding peace and unity at all levels. And that's what today's talk is, because when we look at international conflict, personal conflict, at some point, every individual is going to discover that love was the way. You're going to discover the truth of absolute love. That love, that spiritual consciousness that connects us with all that is. We need leaders that are in the love paradigm, who've come to the realization and the recognition that the truth of this dimension on this planet now is love. And that we must, as a collective and individually for ourselves, lead with love, because everything comes from love. The problem is that people don't recognize it, do we? We don't understand love, do we? We don't recognize and realize the power and the beauty of love, do we? So we need servant leaders who are guided and are all in on the love paradigm, because Jesus said, and this is a universal quote, Jesus said that those who serve shall become great. And even if you look at Muhammad, he went to war because of God and his love of God, didn't he? Because the great spiritual leaders of our time, whether it be Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, anyone who's a great spiritual leader on this plane, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, who realize that it is love in the end which will empower us individually and bring the beauty to our life, but enable humanity to survive with peace and unity. You are love. You are great. Access that infinite leader of love within. Becoming a great leader will inspire those around you to greatness. But it's going to, when you achieve that leadership of love in your heart and become a leader in the love paradigm, you'll raise your consciousness You'll become the great leader, and you will end up living in love, peace, and joy all the days of your life. Leading with love has no barriers, since leadership operates only with courage and confidence. And once you embrace that love paradigm, there is no fear, is there? There's only light and love. The spark of light erases darkness. When there is absolute light, there is no darkness. When there's absolute love in your heart, there is no fear. There is only courage and confidence. And there are no barriers. Winston Churchill said, "Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's courage that counts." Because courage comes from love. As Paulo Coelho wrote, courage is always an act of love. I think Martin Luther King recognized, I think those of us who are living in a love paradigm recognize that darkness cannot drive out darkness. That only love can do that. Only love, according to Martin Luther King, can drive out hate. And when we look at war, the war within, and we're looking at lack of confidence, we're looking at fear, negative emotions. When you light the love in your heart and expand it, you're going to have an amazing life, because love is the way. The word courage comes from cor, the Latin, which is heart. In French, I can't remember what it is, but in the French, courage is about the heart. In the end, you will recognize and realize, no matter how long it takes you, that love is that ultimate power. So lead with love, become love, get on that path to becoming love, but lead with love. Become aware and recognize the power of love. And we're talking about absolute love. We're talking about that love that fills you with confidence and courage, determination, unselfishness, and that focus on something greater than yourself. God, we know at this moment that love is the way. We fill our hearts with love and have the courage to lead with love, bringing peace, harmony, and unity to ourselves, emanating this amazing infinite power to those around us, bringing peace and unity to all that is. So it is. Amen. So go, lead with love, become love. You will have absolute courage and confidence in yourself and inspire that in those around you. And yes, it's a lofty goal, but one day there will be unity and peace in this world. But let's start with us this moment and find that love, that infinite love in our hearts, so that we may lead with love. Go in love, be love. Remember, love is the way. Check out our love website, LoveMakersFoundation.com. And remember, love is the way.